If you want to master 90% of all finance jobs out there, then you're in luck. By talking about my experiences of working at investment banks, this video is going to show you the essential software and programs that you need to be familiar with, so let's dive straight into it. Now, I've kept it to just 5, with the last one probably being the most talked about. But before I cover that one, you need to understand the first 4, otherwise you won't fully grasp the full potential of that software. And the first one on the list is the bread and butter of finance, Microsoft Excel. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this one because this one shouldn't be a surprise. Excel is going to be your everyday software wherever you work, so don't make the mistake of spending a lot of time on learning about the others and thinking you need to focus on them and forget Excel. Excel is always going to be here. Develop Excel first, at least to an intermediate level, before moving on to anything else. Now, there's hundreds of amazing functions in Excel, some of which you'll discover by seeing tutorials and then coming across a relevant situation to use what you learned, whilst others you'll discover when you come across a problem and you look online for a solution or a better way to solve it. But on an everyday basis, you'll be using it for data manipulation, presenting data, and creating and updating financial models. If you're still at university, don't worry about your Microsoft Excel level. When I first started working at an investment bank, I wasn't really familiar with Excel and how it worked, and that was fine, as well as it accepted as perfectly normal for graduates. In the first week, we did an Excel test and the bank split people up into 3 ability groups, and you were then taught for 2 days on Excel starting from your base level. So people in the medium ability, which I was in, learned nested formulas and VBA, whereas people in the low ability learned things like pivot tables and VLOOKUPs. And again, to emphasize, it was fine whatever level you're at. They had classes to cater to your specific need. In my opinion, the classes were great, but the best way I learned was whenever I took over someone's work, there were always pre-populated formulas in the file, and so I always tried to understand what they were step by step, usually by changing one part of the formula and seeing the impact of that. Now, as good as Excel is, there are some limitations. One of those being data storage. When you work at an investment bank, you'll have tons and tons of data, each giving you valuable information if you know how to access it. And that's where the next program comes in, SQL. SQL or SQL, however you refer to it, may look like coding, but it's more accurate to call it data extraction. Data these days is so important, and there's so much wealth of information stored within each institution. The best explanation of SQL that I've seen is that data is like oil and SQL is a drill. In other words, without SQL, all that oil is untapped and you're just leaving money behind. Now, when you do SQL training, you'll come across 2 parts: creating a database, which is where the information is stored, and then querying, which is where you'll pull information from the databases. Now, I can't speak for every financial institution, but where I've worked, the databases were already created and maintained by the tech team. So if you're working for an investment bank or any other financial institution, I suspect it'll be the same. For that reason, I generally skip learning how to create databases and go straight to understanding how to write queries to extract data. Now, the next step up from SQL, and most people actually say this is easier to learn, is Python. So Python appears in a lot of lists showing the top languages used in finance. This chart shows the popularity of Python. Java and C++ are just as popular, but they're more niche and you won't be using them in typical finance jobs. Python, however, can be used in a lot of different finance functions. You can do similar things to SQL, such as manipulate and analyze large financial data sets, but it has a couple of advantages over SQL. The coding is said to be more cleaner and easier to learn than SQL, and it also contains powerful libraries that can be used for various purposes. What I mean by libraries are bundles of code that can be used repeatedly in different programs. This is why Python is said to be simpler and more convenient for the programmer. 3 of the main callouts for Python that I want to make in this video are: number 1, data analysis. Some of the Python libraries, such as Panda and NumPy, enable data to be cleaned, transformed, and analyzed in a way that makes it easier to extract insights and view trends and ultimately make useful decisions. Number 2 is that it can also be used for quantitative finance applications such as portfolio optimization, risk management, and financial modeling. by utilizing libraries such as QuantLib or Pyfolio. And the third point, which is a big advantage over SQL, Python provides the ability for financial data visualization. Using libraries such as Seaborn, you can create interactive charts, graphs, and other visualizations which can help stakeholders understand complex financial data in a better way. Now, being able to visualize data is a really important method senior management rely on to quickly understand large pieces of information. And this is where the next two pieces of software come in. So Power BI and Tableau are two amazing visualization softwares used to see real-time metrics and data, allowing you to quickly see the wider picture. And unlike Python, to utilize Tableau or Power BI, you don't need to learn any coding. Both of these software can integrate information from not only internal sources, but also pull in external sources as well, creating a unified view, allowing users to gain more holistic insight. But the best use I've seen for these is that they allow you to create dynamic and interactive dashboards and charts to visualize data in different formats. You can easily share and collaborate these as well with your colleagues around the world. And this is what the industry is moving towards, wanting metrics updated in real time. And it's not surprising, a lot of financial analyst roles, as well as other roles in finance, ask for familiarity in Tableau or Power BI. I know when it comes to external consultants advising companies on ways they can improve their reporting, these two softwares are always discussed. So it's good if you can learn these and stay ahead of the game and become the expert on your team on these two programs. Okay, so number 5 is interesting and probably the most ambiguous out there in terms of its full potential, and that's artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence, or AI, is already being used in financial companies, and its adoption is expected to grow significantly in the coming years. The reason for this is that it offers several advantages such as improving efficiency, better risk management, enhanced customer experiences, and more accurate decision-making. And because of all these benefits, its use is expected to take over a lot of jobs in several industries. And so it's important we understand what it is, how it can be used, and the benefits so that you don't get left behind. Looking at some examples of where AI is currently being used in the industry, number 1 is fraud detection. So AI algorithms can analyze vast amounts of data in real time to identify unusual patterns and detect fraudulent activities, both helping to minimize financial losses as well as protecting the customer. You've also got credit risk assessments. So AI-based credit scoring models can assess a borrower's credit worthiness more accurately by analyzing a wide range of data, including traditional credit data as well as alternative data sources. And I've already seen it used in trading. So AI-powered algorithms are used for algorithmic trading, portfolio optimization, and predictive analytics to make higher returning investment decisions. One part of AI which stands out here is natural language processing. You'll probably see it abbreviated to just NLP. AI enables companies here to process and analyze vast amounts of unstructured data, such as news articles and social media, to gain insights and make better data-driven decisions. Investment banks are going to start leveraging NLP, but hedge funds are going to go heavy on this area. So just to be aware if you're applying to these roles and thinking to yourself, what skills you need to develop. Now, there's a lot more AI can be used for in finance, and really I wanted this video to emphasize, number 1, it's already being used in finance, and number 2, a few examples of the usages so you can know where AI is going to end up being used and if you need to brush up on learning more about this topic for your interviews. So these are all good examples of hard skills you need in finance, but remember, hard skills get you the job, soft skills will get you the promotion. I say that because it's important you realize finance jobs aren't just sitting at your desk and crunching numbers all day long. There's a lot of soft skills needed to be successful, and I've already made a video on 5 of the most important soft skills that you need for a risk analyst. I'll leave that video at the end of this one, so go check that out, and I'll see you all in the next video.